Hey guys, it's Ker-Leen. You are watching Lemomlife. Thank you so much for tuning back in. Long time no see. So today I wanted to catch you guys up on what's been going on with me. I am so grateful and happy to just be here with you again. Thank you so much for sticking around. So much has happened since the last time I filmed a video. I was pregnant. I am no longer pregnant. That is the main thing. And if you follow me on social media, then you probably have already seen the fact that I gave birth. The happenings surrounding my birth story I wanted to share with you guys today. It was so abrupt. It was nothing like I planned. And you guys know I have C-sections, so I have some sort of idea of what's going to happen. And even with that, having a scheduled C-section, nothing went as planned. I was basically in labor, and I gave birth much earlier than I wanted to. I just give God all the glory and honor and praise because I really don't know how I made it through, but I did. My baby made it through and we're fine. And I wanted to share with you guys what happened and basically catch you up because I would like to resume filming my videos. And we kind of have to do this first. I am currently holding my baby. He will have an official introduction video, so I'm not necessarily showing him to the world right now because he was born premature. I want to let him grow, and there will be an introduction video when we feel comfortable as a family just showing him to the world. You guys will have to wait just a little bit to meet him, so probably in the coming videos, probably in the next 2 or 3 videos, I'll be introducing you guys to him. On a Tuesday, I went to my OB and I had been experiencing Braxton Hicks contractions that were a little bit more than just uncomfortable. I had read and watched videos, and even my doctor said that they are uncomfortable, they don't last. But for some reason, my Braxton Hicks contractions were very uncomfortable to the point where they kept me up at night. And so I explained that to them. At that visit, they put me on a non-stress test. So they strapped, the monitor around my belly. They had me sit in a comfortable recliner. They gave me some water, and they monitored me and baby for 20 minutes. And for that entire 20 minutes, not a one contraction. Baby was doing great. Not one contraction. After the appointment was over, as soon as I stepped into the parking lot, I had a contraction. And so, unfortunately, the test was only 20 minutes, and I really do think that they should monitor you for at least an hour because, of course, I was in a recliner. The room was dim. The light was dim in the room. I didn't have to worry about my kids, my other kids. I didn't have to worry about anything. So I was really in a relaxed state. And that's not the reality for a lot of women who are pregnant. And so because they only monitored me for 20 minutes, they couldn't really get a sense of what things really were like for me when I had to go about my daily life. And I was drinking water, I was resting, but I was still having Braxton Hicks contractions that even at night when I was resting in bed were keeping me up. So that was that appointment. 2 days later, on Thursday, I was having them again, and I had a really bad headache, almost to the point of a migraine. To backtrack, even on Tuesday, the only position I felt comfortable in was on my hands and knees, which is the birthing position. On Thursday, it was the same thing. I felt more comfortable on my hands and knees. I had a really bad migraine. The Braxton Hicks contractions were really intense. And I had a couple meals and they both came right up. So every time I tried to eat something, it came right up. Even though I really wanted it and it was good going down, it just came right up. And at that moment, at that point, I realized that something was really wrong. So I went ahead and I called my OB again, and I went in. They found protein in my urine and my blood pressure was really high. And so because of that, she was really uncomfortable. And it's a group that I go to. So I was seeing someone I hadn't necessarily seen before. So she said, you know what, I'm going to send you to the hospital right away. And, if it's nothing, it's nothing. But I would rather send you to the hospital and just be on the safe side. So we went to the hospital, me, hubby, and the kids. It was unplanned, so I didn't have anyone to watch the kids. We didn't have babysitter. We just had to go there. So when I got there, they put me in one of those rooms where you're being monitored. They put me on to the monitor again, and they also gave me an IV in case I was to stay there. As they were monitoring the baby, his heart rate was going in and out, and it was really weird, and it sounded really weird. I was on my back. They told me, you know what, let's go ahead and lie on your side. And the doctor had been in, and she was telling me how she wasn't sure what was going on, so she wanted to order an ultrasound. So I was waiting for the ultrasound. So then a few minutes later, they turned me onto my side, and then the heart rate still sounded really weird. And my husband was telling me that, you know, it sounded really weird. Now, what we didn't tell them is the night before, we used our Doppler, our home Doppler, to monitor the baby's heart rate. And it sounded weird to us at first, and then we found it, and then it sounded fine. So we kind of concluded that it was my heart rate that we heard first, my heartbeat, and then we found the baby's. Which is why they tell women not to get Dopplers, because Dopplers can lead you to false conclusions at home. The idea is, the point is not to draw conclusions on your own, because it could be a matter of life or death for your baby. And you know, what we did was we decided to wait till the morning and call, but it could have been a matter of, you know, a few hours that were really crucial to determine what was going to happen next. And because we found the heartbeat after and we said it sounded fine, we kind of said to ourselves, it sounds fine. I went to sleep and I didn't, you know, call till the next morning. So anyway, the heart rate, the heartbeat, the baby's heartbeat sounded just the same as it sounded for us at home the night before. It was going in and out. It was really weird. The next thing I know, the doctor busts in the room with like 4 or 5 other people, and they were, along with the nurses, they were all telling me, we have to do an emergency C-section on you, and we have to get the baby out because we don't want the baby to die. We don't want anything to happen to you as well. And I was just not processing. It wasn't like registering to me, because I was nowhere near, you know, ready for the baby to be born. I wasn't term. And here's the thing, this doctor that was on call at the hospital that day was the very doctor that I did not want to do my C-section. I had had a previous experience with her back when I lost my son Corbin at 20 weeks. And I knew I did not want her to do my C-section. The doctor that I prefer that did the C-section, my last 2 C-sections, and birthed my last 2 babies, she and I had a plan, and, you know, it was all set to go. And I was really excited that she would be, you know, delivering my 3rd baby and my last baby. And, you know, it was just, the plan was perfect in my mind. And here I am sitting in this room, and they're telling me that my plan is not going to go down the way I had it planned. And the doctor I did not want to do my C-section is the one that was actually going to do it. So I was freaking out. I was like, no, I'm not, you know, I don't want to have a C-section. I don't want to deliver today. And they kept trying to tell me we have to. It's a matter of life and death. So eventually they start wheeling me out of the room. And as they're wheeling me out, I'm telling hubby, like, I'm scared. I'm really scared. Please, no. And he told me he felt comfortable with the whole thing because he did not like what he heard when he heard the baby's heartbeat. As they're wheeling me down the hall, they are telling me all these different things, asking me all these different questions. And they're asking me, have I ever had general anesthesia before? And I'm like, I don't want to have general anesthesia. I'm fine with the spinal. So it was like, not only was this not going to go as planned, but I'm not going to witness it. Like, what? Basically, but after I understood that they just had to hurry up and get this baby out of me before something happened to him. And that was the point. Ultimately, the doctor did make the best call. She was trying to save the baby's life. Although I didn't particularly care for her, she did do her job well. And I'm happy and grateful for the intervention, the life-saving intervention that they gave me at the time. They wheeled me into the OR, and when I got into the OR, there must have been like 20 people in there. Like, it was packed in there. And they were doing 50 different things to me at the same time. So somebody was trying to clean me up down there and put a catheter in me. Somebody was trying to give me oxygen. Somebody was trying to strap my arms down in preparation for the surgery. And the person that was putting oxygen on me, he looked to be young and maybe he was nervous, but he like put the mask over my nose and I could not breathe. Like, he was pressing my nostrils down. It's supposed to cover your nose, but not like be on your nose. And so he was like pressing it down on my nostrils, and I was like, I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I kept trying to tell him that. and he was not paying attention to me. So I had to really like be really animated. And this other lady that was there was like, no, this is how you do it. And so she positioned the mask properly. And then as they were putting the catheter in me, it was so uncomfortable. I guess they were swiping me with some solution to clean me up because you know, it was an emergency C-section, so they had to make sure that they cleaned me well and quickly. And then this lady was trying to strap down my arms. And so those two things were happening, and I was just really uncomfortable and clenching my body. And the lady that was strapping down my arm, she said, relax for your baby, relax for your baby. And as soon as she said that, I just felt my body just like completely melt into the table because I wanted my baby to come out alive and well and healthy. And that was the only thing that mattered to me. So that was like the magic phrase, because as soon as she said that, I completely relaxed. And then I looked up at the lights that they had overhead, which were really bright. And I just prayed. I said, Lord, I trust you, Jesus. I trust you. And I woke up and I was in recovery. They told me my baby was fine. He was crying when he came out. And that's all I needed to hear. So basically what ended up happening is I was in recovery for a very long time. So hubby took the kids back home and met me back up at the hospital. He was able to go see the baby. They did put the baby in NICU, and he stayed there until he was discharged. I'll do a whole separate video on our NICU experience because that was something in and of itself. You really have to advocate for your baby when your baby's in NICU, because our intervention, the fact that we advocated, got him out at least a couple weeks earlier than they had basically planned for him to be discharged. And our intervention, our advocating made all the difference. And so I definitely want to make a video talking about our NICU experience because it's real in the NICU. But anyways, you know, that's ultimately what happened with my birth. Not what I expected, not what I wanted, not what I planned, but I've learned to accept that God's plans are better than mine, better than any plan I could ever make, and accept what happened and just be okay with it and enjoy my baby, enjoy what I can enjoy. Here's the thing, aside from my baby being born strong and healthy, me making it out alive, basically I had preeclampsia. In addition to having preeclampsia, my doctor told me at my post-op that, and this is the doctor that I originally wanted to do the procedure, she told me that my placenta was separating from my uterus. So basically my baby was losing his lifeline, his oxygen, his food, everything, because my placenta was basically separated or being torn from my uterus. How that happened, I have no idea. All I know is that this pregnancy was the hardest pregnancy I've had so far, in every single way. And so, you know, it's not far-fetched that that was happening to me. And then on top of that, I had preeclampsia. So my blood pressure was really high and I could have lost my life as well. So both he and I are here by the grace of God because we both could have lost our lives during this whole ordeal. You know how I told you that I had planned to have my C-section with a specific doctor? Well, she happened to be at the hospital that day. Even though she wasn't on call for the group, she was there with some other patients. So when they made the stat call on the hospital PA system, she heard it. And she immediately rushed to the OR. And she said she was listening to everything they were telling her as the doctor was briefing her. She said, that's my patient. I'm pretty sure that's my patient. So in the end, God was looking out for me. He was like, you're not alone. I got you. And the doctor I had planned to deliver my baby was in the room with the doctor that was giving me the C-section. So in essence, she was there delivering my baby as well. And when I woke up and I saw her, she came to the recovery room, I burst into tears because I was so relieved that she was in that room with me. The other doctor could not understand, but that's because she doesn't know that I didn't really like her and I didn't want her to be there. So she was kind of like, I wonder why she's crying and why she's so sentimental. But I was sentimental because God was looking out for me, and the doctor that I wanted to do the procedure was there, ended up being there in the room. And I told her that. I said, I'm so happy, I'm so relieved, I'm so grateful that you were here. And she's just that kind of doctor, like she cares. She heard what was going on, and she made sure that she came to help the other doctor. That's just the kind of person she is. She wanted to help her colleague. She was done with her procedures for the day. She could have gone home, but she went to help her, and that just blew my mind. And I was just so grateful, and it was just God's way of letting me know that he was with me and I wasn't alone. I was so happy that she was there. Anywho, guys, that was my birth story. I'm currently nursing him down here. You can't see him. I'm so grateful to you guys who have checked back in and kind of sent me messages asking how we're doing. I'm so grateful. We're doing fine. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to hear about my NICU experience, comment down below letting me know. And make sure you're subscribed and your notification bell is on so you don't miss those upcoming videos. I'll see you guys really soon. Bye. Bye. See you guys real soon.